All right, right fast, locker room, because it's pretty late. I just got out my workout, because they had both of those football games. I told you I like those football games, but ending this thing this late is pretty crazy. But I enjoyed it. Let me tell you, I gotta admit this here that I saw something in watching this game. That first game with Detroit in Tampa Bay. Remember, I told you guys, I said, I thought Tampa was the only chance, the only team that had a chance to come out this year with what I call a dominant season. One of those, you know, 14-3, 13-4, something up in there. I call a dominant season with the 17-game schedule. Because I thought they were playing great with only the one loss, but they had a lot of guys missing. I watched tonight game thinking about, the Cowboys got to play the Lions December 4th at Detroit. Because this was a big game in Detroit tonight. And I saw what they did to the Buccaneers. Now, the Buccaneers had a great fight because this team jumped out 14-0. And ultimately, they won the game 24-9. That first quarter was total domination. How did they win this game? Detroit had so many explosive plays. Boom, 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 explosive plays. Tampa couldn't keep up with it early on. And early on, what was happening was it was the return of Mike Evans. And I watched two things, two tales on the return. You saw yesterday CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb, their BMOC in Dallas. Big man on campus in Dallas, returned to the field, and you saw an offensive explosion, right? You know why? Because CeeDee Lamb made a play across the field, 74 yards, went the distance. That solidified everybody on that Cowboys sideline. I told you, he's back. Oh my God, we're ready to take off right now. He's back, and everybody was grooving and feeling fun. Now, on the other hand, you saw Mike Evans return. And Mike Evans, Tampa was doing the same thing. They were saying, we get BMOC back, our big man on campus. And they were trying to get that spark to go throughout the team. Detroit's a tough place. It was loud in there. You saw Baker Mayfield trying to hear the plays being called. But they were trying to get that next level spark. Because the Johnson & Johnson boys have been playing well, but now they get back, they beat MOC. I even thought it, I said it, they can go to domination when they get those guys back. But I don't know about that now. Because early on, they target Mike Evans 4 times. And when they were done, after those 4 targets, his 4th target, he was out the game and they were down 14-0. Now, had Mike Evans, even in that deep play, caught that ball that he hurt his shoulder on, and I'm praying for you, fella. You know you're my dude. I love you. I appreciate all that you put in, Mike Evans. You've been a great, great pro. A great pro. You've done great things. 11 straight years of 1,000 yards. That's to be commended. That's to be commended. You know, Baker, what I saw tonight, though, let me get back to what I'm saying, because what I saw tonight was an honorable thing. I saw Dak say, I know you, my man. I'm going to give you these opportunities in your return because we needed to lift us. Baker did the same thing, but they didn't make those connects. And then on that fourth play, it was a phenomenal effort by Mike Evans to go and get that play. And he gave too much of himself trying to go and get that play. He had a hamstring injury already. So he's saying to himself, I know what he was going through. I got to make this play. I have to make a play. I have to give my guys what they need. I got to make a play. And he stretched out to try to catch that ball. And when he caught it, everybody fell on him. He fell right on that shoulder and broke his collarbone. I've been right there before. Also, that happened to me the same way against Carolina in the playoffs. This is crazy pain. You understand what I'm saying? Crazy pain for a long time because this thing is gone. And there is no way you can get comfortable. They'll have it in the thing. And if you're trying to sleep, there's no way that pressure, everything for that, there's just no way you get comfortable for a long time. And that thing takes a long time to heal. Oof. But it took air out of the whole team to see BMOC go down. And they had to try to gather themselves again. And I give them credit because they did. They had an opportunity there to come in and make some plays. And, you know, they went down, they got a field goal, they got the ball back after the half. They really cut that thing 14-10. I mean, 14-9. They went for two and missed the 2-point conversion. So 14-9. But from there on, Tampa fought, and they fought hard. They really tried, and every opportunity they had, they just missed it. They just missed it. Baker missed Tez Johnson in the corner in the end zone. Just missed it. Just missed it. And it was like he was off after that Mike Evans thing. You know, I thought about how Mike Evans been so great for Johnny Manziel and how Mike Evans been so great for Baker Mayfield. Now, Johnny, and you ever watched him in college, man, Johnny was just throwing that thing up and Mike Evans was going to get it. And Baker has talent and gifts, but he was doing some of that early on to get that solidified relationship with Mike Evans, and Mike Evans came through. And he was trying to honor him, but with his return. And it didn't work out. As a matter of fact, when Mike Evans left, the offense kind of picked up a little bit because that's what they were doing prior to Mike Evans coming back because Godwin and all those guys were back. Emeka was Godwin. It was not back. Emeka came back. So what I'm saying is, I don't know, and I do believe now that I don't know if they'll be that dominant team. I told you they were the only team that had the opportunity to be dominant. But I tell you what they will be is one of very good teams in the hunt for all of it. And honestly, now they're looking for their future. And Baker with those Johnson & Johnson boys, they ain't bad. And then Emeka being who he is, it's not a bad combination and not a bad receiving core to now work with Baker because Mike Evans, you know, if he comes back, it'll be probably December getting ready or January. It'll be January if he comes back. You know, if you got to go deep in the playoffs if he's going to play anymore this year. That's how great of a piece, how great that pain is that he's going to be in. So yeah, I got to give credit to Detroit for lighting it up. My girl afterwards interviewed St. Brown. And the one thing she said described the way Detroit entered that dome tonight. She said, you guys started this game like you were possessed. That's how bad they wanted it. She assessed it as them being possessed. And they did. They were possessed. Be interesting to see what happens with Tampa now. Because I do believe I still keep them right in the middle, right there with the best teams in the NFC. I just don't know if I, without Mike Evans, call them if they'll have the ability to be called and become that dominant team. And I'm not talking about the Bucs. I know how hard it is to win in Detroit. Remember, I went there in '91 and they sent us home. And we grew to be a dominant team next year, but they showed us the environment that if you're going to be a dominant team, you got to go in and win. And that was a scary environment then for me. It was a scary environment tonight for Tampa Bay. And that's going to be a scary environment December 4th for the Dallas Cowboys. The Bucs are Tampa Bay, and they were the best team in the NFL. But Dallas is Dallas. And those people in Detroit are going to go crazy when that goes down. Just like tonight on Monday Night Football. They're going to enter that stadium December 4th possessed. What a word. Possessed. Speaking of possessed, this other game had some possess in it. Seahawks, they didn't just beat the Texans. They beat up on the Texans. They beat up on C.J. Stroud. I X'd it, tweeted it, said it. I gotta say it here. I mean, I know the score looked close at 27-19, and I gotta give Houston credit for their fight. But I had to tweet it out when I was sitting here watching this game. Well, I was in the steam actually watching it because I was working out first and then went in the steam room, and then I came running here right afterwards because I was so hyped about it. Dude, I saw a Seattle Seahawks defensive line look like the things that I was scared of growing up when I was watching the Cowboys and the Steelers. I was like, my God, how do you do anything against that defensive front? When I was watching the '85 Bears, I said, my God, how do you do anything with that defensive front? And tonight, when I was watching the Seahawks, I was like, my God, how do you do anything with that defensive front? Man, you got a 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, and you can't get nothing. Nothing. C.J. Stroud got beat down, beat up, and beat around everything. All kind of beat, whatever. They were all over him. I was like, damn, I don't want Dallas to have to go see that team. I know a lot of people say some things about what I saw yesterday on that, but they were possessed. That team was possessed too. At least that defensive front. I ain't got to tell y'all, dude. Let me tell you something. That JSN, he is putting himself up here with the Justin Jeffersons, the Jamar Chase, and the CeeDee Lambs. Since Tyreek Hill is out, we got to start looking at JSN and start talking about, is he in these top 4 or 5 receivers in the National Football League? You start thinking about right now, because when I watch this kid play, I'm like, and then you can tell this kid at hops. Remember I told you guys, watch how when I watch guys do flips, when I watch Scatterboo does that flip, it's something different. Because, some people flip, and I'm like scared they're going to bust their head. They don't have enough room, they don't have enough power to make it explosive enough to get all the way over. Scatterboo flips like I don't know what. Tyreek Hill, that's tell you they have so much explosiveness. Now, JSN didn't flip. But he jumped and dunked the goalpost, and like Jimmy Smith used to do it, it was whoa. Jimmy Smith was like 6'8", 6'7", 6'6" even, something, 6'6", 6'7", 6'8", something like that. JSN did that so easily, I was like, whoa. That boy is explosive right there. And I'm telling you, we have to start considering where is he ranked right now in the National Football League. Everybody talk Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, and even your boy went off over there the other day. They put up 300 yards receiving together, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. But JSN is saying, hold up, wait a minute. Y'all better start putting my name in it. And he's right. When we're starting to talk, when we talk about the best receivers in the National Football League, now that Sam Darnold's over there with JSN, you got to start saying, hold up, wait a minute. Cooper Kupp was good. Cooper Kupp got one reception tonight because this thing all about JSN over there in Seattle. So I was happy to see, as soon as I was watching it, you guys know I went to my schedule, and I was like, wait a minute, man. I got to make sure the Cowboys ain't going to see their defensive line, and they're not. Thank God. Oh, I was so happy. I was so happy. Because, boy, going into Seattle is something I'm glad we don't have to do. You know they were only giving up 12 points a game. And tonight I saw why. Both of those defenses were great, but what Seattle was doing was dominant. Yeah, those were good games. Those were good games. Guys, before I break off and let you guys go, let me tell you this. Starting week 8, I'm going to try to horn in on something, tighten it up for us, you know. Right now, I just chat, and I love chatting and opening up with you guys, but I'll start, you know, doing it probably a little bit more. I'll give you an understanding of when, so we can at least know, you know. I'm going to do something, I think, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'm going to move those lives from Tuesday to Wednesday. And, you know, it'll be about a conversation with you guys Wednesday, because then we'll have all the football in. We'll already have talked Monday about Sunday football. We'll get in Monday and Tuesday, and then live. It should be all about you and whatever team you want to talk about. And then we'll turn that thing Friday into what's about to happen coming up for the weekend. You know what I'm saying? We'll do all that right here in the locker room, buddy. Now, I'm going to try to get to sleep. Yeah. And then get up in the morning, get me a workout before I have to get out of town and get to LA for an appearance and some work. Hey, good night, my peeps. We got 2 pretty good games tonight. NFL, it never disappoints. Good night.